So you just got off the air, okay, a little bit ago, right? And I'm sure you took a lot of calls and you're talking with all the fans there, really Flames fans for the most part in Calgary. Are they rooting for or against the Oilers tonight?
Well, we were doing a little giveaway on the show today, and our text topic was if the Oilers win tonight, it'll be worse than blank. And we had all sorts of things. We had a lot of people call in about having to remarry their ex wives. We had people talking about having their in laws move in permanently. Like, this is not going to be good for Calgary fans because it's one thing to have the Oilers win it, it's another thing for the Flames to be in a little bit of disarray right now. So if the Oilers fans win, Flames fans don't really have anything to stand on. There's nothing good that we've done. They got a bad long-term signing after the Kachuk trade, who's obviously the superstar of the Panthers now, and just the way that everything has kind of snowballed since then. Bad signings, having to trade away their best goaltender just last week. So who knows what the season's going to be? And now you got the Oilers, who might win the championship. They're just going to hold that over our heads. So that's going to be a little rough for sure.
But wait a minute, Matty, it's been 31 years since a Canadian team has won the cup. Don't you guys want to bring the cup home? Don't you have patriotism and don't you want to see the cup in Canada for the I mean, there's a lot of people that are alive that have never seen the cup in Canada.
Myself included. And I would prefer it to be my team that does that. Because, like I said, I don't want to have to deal with Oilers fans being like, we were the first team to bring it back, and it was all us, and you can thank us. And, I don't want to deal with that all the time when these guys have their ring if it goes that way. So that's one thing that I think a lot of people in Calgary are nervous about. But I will say, like, the family conversations have been interesting of that exact kind of dichotomy. Do you want the cup back in Canada, or do you want your biggest rival to be it? Like I've said before, if there's like Winnipeg or Ottawa that brings the cup back, like I'm like, whatever. I don't really, there's no rivalry there. But if it's Vancouver, there's a rivalry. If it's Edmonton, there's a rivalry. If it's Toronto, there's a rivalry. And I just don't want those fan bases to have that extra achievement to hold over the head of Flames fans if they do it. So that's what it all comes down to. But a lot of people, I will say, not a lot, but there are certain amount of people who, even though they're Flames fans, will be cheering for the cup to come back to Canada. It's tough for me because whenever the Flames get eliminated, I try and find the team in the States that has the most Canadians left on it, which typically there's one that has like 12 or 15. Unfortunately, this year, the Panthers, I think, only have 2 Canadians, and the Oilers have all Canadians, essentially. So that argument has also gone out the window for me. But some people are cheering for the Oilers. I just can't do it as someone who has grown up with the Flaming C on my chest.
So what do you think, like the rest of the country? What do you think, like the people in Vancouver or the people in Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island? I'm trying to name as many random provinces. How about the people in Hamilton, Thunder Bay? What about the people skiing in Whistler right now? What about all those people?
All those people, all the ones out east that you name, before Whistler, I think that a lot of people will be cheering for the Cup to come back to Canada. There's a lot of guys from Ontario on the team, so I'm sure there's a certain amount of that. I find that Leafs fans, once their team gets eliminated, they generally just check out of everything else anyways. So that would be one thing that I'm kind of thinking with that over there. But the Vancouver fans are, like, if you think Flames fans are down bad, the Vancouver fans are way worse because they actually lost to the Oilers as part of this run, and they didn't have their best goalie. So they're saying to themselves, if we had our best goalie, like they have that injury excuse, right? If we had our best goalie, we could have been there. We could have beat the Oilers. We would have definitely beat the Panthers. And now they're watching the Oilers win it. So that's another rivalry. Like BC and Alberta, there's certainly different points of view that you'll see between those two provinces. So there's a rivalry there as well. And when Vancouver lost to Edmonton, that was big. But I think that even Vancouver fans and everyone out in BC is probably having a pretty hard time coming to terms with how this has changed. Like they were up 3-0 too. This was supposed to be over like a week ago. Like we're not supposed to be here. This is supposed to happen. But lo and behold, you got the best player on the planet, and eventually he can go video game mode, and here's where you end up.